Right now, in 7 control rooms across the United States, 7 people are watching a number that has to stay at exactly 60. Not 60.1, not 59.985, 60. And if it drifts more than about 100th of a hertz, 18 thousandths to be precise, one of those 7 picks up a phone and starts dispatching power. This is a story about the American power grid, the people who keep it in time, and a federal standard that almost no one has heard of, even though every clock that plugs into a wall depends on it. The number 60 refers to alternating current frequency. American grids run on alternating current, and the voltage cycles from positive to positive again, 60 times a second. That's the hertz. 60 hertz is what every American outlet is supposed to deliver. Pure tone, steady pulse, the whole continent breathing in unison. It is in fact 3 continents. Sort of. The lower 48 is split into 3 synchronous grids that don't talk to each other directly. The Eastern Interconnection covers everything from the Mississippi to the Atlantic. The Western Interconnection covers everything west of the Rockies, and then there's Texas, which has its own grid called ERCOT. Mostly on purpose, because connecting it to either of the other 2 would have invited federal regulation Texas didn't want. So, 3 grids, 3 frequencies, all locked to 60. Inside each interconnection, the rule is simple to state and very hard to keep. Generation has to equal demand at every instant. If a coal plant trips offline at 3 in the afternoon, demand exceeds supply for a fraction of a second, and the frequency falls. If a thunderstorm knocks out air conditioning for 4 million homes, supply exceeds demand, and the frequency rises. The frequency, in other words, is a real-time price signal. Except instead of money, it's expressed in hertz, which is where the 7 people come in. The North American Electric Reliability Corporation, NERC, designates a small set of organizations called reliability coordinators. There are 7 that handle the bulk of the lower 48. PJM in Pennsylvania, MISO in Indiana, SPP in Arkansas, ERCOT in Texas, CAISO in California, ISO New England in Massachusetts, and NYISO in upstate New York. Each runs a 24-hour control room with, at any given moment, between 5 and 12 operators on shift. And one of those operators, the on-duty reliability coordinator, has the legal authority to order any utility inside their footprint to turn power on or off. Inside the control room is a wall of monitors. One of them displays a number with 3 decimal places. 60.000. When it drifts to 59.993, the room is mildly annoyed. When it drifts to 59.982, that's the 18 thousandths line, formal action begins. The reliability coordinator picks up a phone and tells the next utility in line to bring on a generator, or to drop load, or to import power from a neighbor. The whole call takes about 90 seconds. By the time the operator finishes saying goodbye, the frequency is usually back. The system, in the language of the NERC rulebook, has been restored to within band. If you want to know how seriously the federal government takes this, a reliability coordinator who fails to act when the frequency is out of band can fine the offending utility up to $1 million per day per violation. Some of the largest enforcement actions in the history of American utility regulation are fines for things the public has never noticed, because the 7 people noticed first. Now, you might reasonably ask why the frequency has to be that precise in the first place, and the answer has very little to do with your microwave clock. It is about the synchronous machines themselves. A coal turbine and a gas turbine spinning in different states are mechanically locked to the grid frequency. If the frequency wanders too far, the rotors go out of phase, and the safety relays trip them off. Trip enough rotors at once, and the grid collapses. 18 thousandths of a hertz is roughly the margin before that cascade becomes plausible, which means the 7 people in those 7 rooms are not, technically, keeping your clock right. They are preventing the lights of 200 million Americans from going out at the same time by watching a needle that has to stay on a line. Most of them are paid less than a senior software engineer. You are watching this on a device that, somewhere up the cable, is plugged into a wall, delivering exactly 60 hertz, give or take 18 thousandths, because 7 strangers in 7 rooms are watching a needle for you. And spoiler, if they ever look away, you find out about it before they do.